Do you remember those old TV commercials that used to say, this is a healthy brain and this is a brain on drugs? And they would show you like a really messed up picture of a brain on drugs.
This video is brought to you by Appy Pie Academy.
So we've done your schedule. Now let's do your schedule if you have kids. Hopefully that was kind of a funny segue, funny contrast. So this is a schedule with kids. What's going to happen? You've got your schedule like I have on the left here figured out. Little bit maybe exercise to get your day going. Task 1, task 2, whatever. You got your breaks planned out. And then kids happen and they don't care about your schedule. They barge in at any moment. And what I've done is on Thursday here, it's not really a schedule. It's really reminders for me to talk to you about certain things. First of all, create a routine for your kids and work around their routine. Maybe at some point they're doing schoolwork, or at some point they're in the park, or maybe at some point they're with a different family member, or at some point they're taking an afternoon nap. That's when you do those things that you cannot do when they're around. That's one thing, is to work around their routine and schedule around their routine. And of course, you'll be able to do that for the most part, unless you have meetings with external third-party people or companies. Generally, because you are flexible in your own day, you can do whatever you want. If your kids wake up at 8, well, from 5 to 8, that's when you work in the morning. Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep making you wake up earlier and earlier. But you just have to work around their schedule. If they have a 2 p.m. nap, you have a very intense session at 2 p.m. for your work. And that's how you do it. So that's the point about creating a routine. And it's also the point about allocating times when your kids are busy or sleeping. That's when you work. And you can create things to keep them busy. For example, they can have additional activities like going outside to play with their friends, or reading a book, or maybe taking some classes like music classes somewhere. And since you are working, you can have a babysitter for a couple hours a day that will take the kids and keep them busy so you can work. Another thing you can do is actually do fewer things which are important. I know I already talked about doing fewer things which are only the important things. That's how you get the most impact. But actually, you can do even fewer things that are more important and just take off one more task that is still the least important task in your schedule, or maybe less enjoyable task in your schedule, and then you'll still be able to do still the most important things in the limited time and the less attention that you can devote to it. You can still do the most important things. And very often, what people find extremely surprising, and actually it's true in my case, when they take things off their schedule, which they think are not necessary, and they're left with only what they think are necessary tasks or impactful tasks, they don't always realize that they can still take more tasks off. And it's only by necessity that they say goodbye to those additional tasks. And then they realize, oh my God, even those additional tasks that I thought were necessary are not that necessary in the end. It's happened to me a lot, where I used to have like lead generating strategies that used to take up some time, and I had to get rid of them because I myself, now I'm filming this, I have a 2-month-old at home which cries around anytime, and I literally have to film. It's impossible to film because the baby just cries at random times. So it's actually really hard for me to work, and I know that I just have to allocate more time to filming and more time to editing. So I had to stop doing a lot of lead generating things I used to be doing. It's a true story. And guess what? Actually putting more effort into my filming has compensated more than the lead generating things I was doing. I actually should have quit the lead generating things a long time ago. And I wasn't doing that just because I didn't want to let that go. I was worried about it. So it's a true story. We can let go of many more tasks than we think. And of course, you want to set realistic expectations for yourself. If you give yourself an ambitious schedule and ambitious goals and you have kids, that's just not compatible. You're just going to make yourself stressed out and miserable, and you're going to take it out on the kids, and everything's going to be worse. But if you give yourself reasonable goals to achieve less, but still to achieve those things, then it will become only a matter of perspective, because you're actually going to be succeeding at those fewer things instead of failing at the more things. And you'll be happier when you're succeeding, even though it really starts from the beginning, because when you plan, you just plan for fewer things. Your goals will be less ambitious, but they'll make you happy. And if they're the right goals, they'll get you to everywhere you want to go in business and career anyway. So those are some tips for working at home if you've got kids around who are distracting you at random times.